The Yamaha NMAX, one of the most popular bikes in the Philippines. And on MotoDeal.com.ph is ranked #1 in our most inquired for bikes. Now, you don't even have to go to Y-Zone or any other showroom to see one. You literally just have to stand outside and you're guaranteed to see quite a few. We tested the old model and I honestly enjoyed it. And if you've been on the fence of whether to get an NMAX or not, well, maybe the 2020 version will help you pull that trigger. It's time to go beyond the ride. The 2020 NMAX still comes with a liquid-cooled 4-stroke, 4-valve, single overhead cam, single-cylinder engine that has 155 cc's of displacement. You get about 15.8 in horsepower at 8,000 RPM and 13.9 Nm of torque at 6,500 RPM. It's fuel-injected and it's made into Yamaha's D-belt automatic transmission. The brakes are pretty good. It's got discs in the front and the back, and since this is the top-of-the-line model, it's got dual-channel ABS. The front wheels and tires are 110/70 on 13s, while the rear is 130/70 on 13s. Meanwhile, the front suspension is a telescopic fork, while the rear is a unit swing arm with dual shocks. The fuel tank can hold 7.1 liters, and on a good day, you can get 45 kilometers per liter, which is pretty good. However, if you are stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic and have no way out, expect a figure closer to 25 to 30 kilometers per liter. But of course, that is EDSA during rush hour with you waiting for a gap to open up, which is not the most ideal situation to be in. It's not fun at all, to be honest with you. It is still undoubtedly an NMAX, but you get better lighting all around. You got full LEDs up front as well as the rear, and you got hazard lamps as well. It does feel and look very familiar with a couple of upgrades aesthetically and some nice features. Speaking of those features, you can see that they did relocate the 12-volt socket to the other side. The pocket is still deep and you can fit a lot of things in there. The other side, however, now features a door. So you can put your phone in there or your wallet and not worry about it falling out. Also new for this model is the LCD gauge cluster. Now the old one was a bit on the small side. Yamaha rectified that and put a bigger LCD display that has everything you need and more, like your fuel gauge, speedometer, tachometer, clock, fuel economy dates, and it'll even show you how long until your next oil change and your next V-belt change. There's also an updated switch gear, which still has the same Yamaha fit and finish that we all love, plus the hazard switch, start, stop, toggle, and even a dedicated switch to cycle through your gauge cluster information in the position of the passing light trigger. It may be confusing at first, but it's something that you'll get used to. Something I find a little odd on the bike is this. This glossy material right here. Imagine that after your first month of riding the bike. It's going to be scratched AF. Another new feature on the 2020 NMAX is the keyless ignition. Here it is right here. This is the key. All you gotta do is be somewhere near the bike, and then it can start. Honestly, I don't like keyless bikes. Cars, I understand. But this, I would lose this like that. The compartment under the seat is massive. You got 23.3 liters, not a problem for a full-face helmet. Extra clothes, maybe a nice big water bottle, some tools, camera gear, Jack's lunch. Maybe not big enough for Earl's ego. I am 5'6", the same height of an average Filipino male, and just like the old NMAX, the seat height of the new one is 765 millimeters and a ground clearance of 125 millimeters. I can almost flat foot the bike, no problem. The turning radius is pretty impressive. Of course, in Manila traffic, this will come in very handy. Since a lot of people always want to know what a bike sounds like, we may as well do a sound test. performs really well on ideal road conditions. The engine is smooth like its predecessor, and it still accelerates very linearly. The engine vibrations are minimal, like the old one, and it's really an easy rider. You can rest your foot on the second step board position, making this a very easy riding or relaxed scooter. The seat also helps with that couch-like feel. Now, it's a bit of a lazy boy couch in my opinion. You can ride it a bit aggressively, sure, but that's just not what the bike is about. The seat is very accommodating. The handlebars are leaned back, and the steering is nice and light. It is also ridiculously easy to lean this into a corner. The center of gravity is so low and all the weight is concentrated underneath you, so the bike doesn't feel top heavy at all. Though, let's be real, nothing is perfect. The NMAX has a suspension that is a bit bumpy out of the factory. I guess that explains why a lot of owners modify the shocks of this thing. It's a bit bouncy, but nothing too alarming. Power-wise, it's very smooth and the engine lets out a nice purr when going up to speed. Surprisingly, the V-belt transmission is very responsive and will go quickly. It's very point and shoot, so to speak. Now, it's not excessively fast. It is a great daily commuter. However, it's not gonna light your pants on fire. And for that, I am thankful, especially when you hit traffic. But even handling is easy with this thing. The turning radius is really, really good, and even the brakes are pretty damn great. The ABS also gives you peace of mind to really dig into the front and the rear discs. So there's an NMAX, there's another NMAX. Yeah, there are a lot of NMAXs on the road in the Philippines. What's great about this Scoot is so easy to lane filter. I can't stress that enough. With full confidence, you know you're gonna get through and still be safe.
Now for the price. The 2020 Yamaha NMAX starts at $119,000, while this, the top of the line with dual channel ABS, can be yours for 134,500 Philippine pesos. Yes, it's a little steep, but you can't put a price tag on Yamaha reliability and safety. So for the verdict, well, it's an NMAX, so you know what you're gonna get. It's dependable, it's got good fuel economy, and it's got the looks to boot. For more information about the bike and other MCs out there, log on to www.motodeal.com.ph. Hope you guys enjoy going beyond the ride. This has been Gene Rafino.